Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm ARGHHH. This is my tiny corner of the world. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's claiming to be, hang on a second, I'm just going to see what it says it's going to be. It says it's only 8 degrees Canadian, which is 8 and 8, 16. Yeah, so it's not that warm, but the sun is so bright and it's not windy. It's so beautiful. And my little apartment is flooded with light. So that's the Ottawa, Canada weather report. And I'm here broadcasting to you live from the 15th floor. And I had an idea. And I have to click on this thing. Here's me clicking on the thing. So I had an idea and I want to run it past you, but I want to wait until more people have joined so that we can have a conversation about it. Now, my objective today, talking to people on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on good morning, happy 23rd day of birthday month. Thank you, Eddie. It is in fact day 23, which is 5 on birthday month. So I have this idea and I think it's going to be fun and I want everybody's input. So before I get to that, I want to talk about our theme today. Now, our theme is the how not to catch the small yappy dog syndrome. As soon as I say small yappy dog syndrome, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? Right? It has a whole different impact on you, on the level of your tolerance, than a very large dog doing that, because large dogs don't usually do that for that long. Usually they're on their way to kill you halfway through that. Or sit on you, something, make your life reasonably more better by leaving. So I live in an apartment building. I have lived in many apartment buildings and a few houses. And it doesn't not matter, although there's a kind of an echo effect in an apartment. It does not matter where you live if a close proximity neighbor has a small yappy dog. It is the same kind of impact. The only one who needs to act like a small yappy dog is a small yappy dog. I love you, Eddie. So we've run into them at dog parks. We run into them on the ends of leashes. We run into them when people call them their support animal, and they take them places where other people would rather they hadn't. And the thing is their tenacity, the fact that they glom onto the idea of this bark. They don't know how shrill and yappy it is, but they have tenacity and lung power and really, really well lubricated throat muscles, as far as I can tell, because it goes on. And there is someone in our building who every 3 or 4 weeks on a weekend acquires this dog. So it's somebody who goes away and says, do you mind dog sitting? And the person says, no, of course not. The thing is, what they don't tell the person, good morning, Maggie. The thing is, what they don't tell the person when they say, no, of course not, I love having him, her, is that then they go out and they leave the dog in the apartment. And the dog, understandably, is put off by it. Now, and tells the world for hours and hours and hours. And then there will be blissful silence. And you think, oh, good, they've come home. No. The dog either was catching its breath or fell asleep from exhaustion, wakes up, still doesn't know where anybody is, still doesn't know what day it is. It's like it's a miniature military kid, right? Has no idea where its house is and is immediately overwrought. And they don't just bark once. It's not like, no. Goes on and on and on. And all that stuff, right? Forever. And I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's above or below or, 2 weekends ago, it went on for the full Friday night, Saturday, and into Sunday. So the person left that dog and went somewhere. and didn't tell, must not have told the person. I can't imagine that it's their dog and they farm it out all week. I can't imagine that. And good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Freddie. And so it is something that we all then have to endure, right? And I am sure, but this last time, somebody was pounding. Somebody was not yelling, but pounding to try and make it stop. Except that, of course, that wouldn't register with the dog. That would just be more terrifying, I would imagine. So I don't know how you police it. I don't know how you go and find out who it is, because all through the week there's no noise, right? So all through the week, is nobody living there? Do they only live there on the weekend? Like that, like there's no logic in this narrative except the noise. And you can tell yourself to go to sleep, and good luck with that, unless you can somehow meditate your way in and under and around and through that. So it's not the dog I'm talking about. It's the syndrome. Because I discovered many, many years ago, quite by accident, that I was actually in a relationship with someone who had the syndrome. And I didn't realize it for the longest time. Small sip. And how it suddenly dawned on me was, first of all, this chap was not what you'd call outgoing. He said that he complains at work so that people will leave him alone. He's rude so that people will leave him alone. All right. whatever works for you, right? Whatever floats your boat. He didn't tell me how he complains. He didn't tell me any of the details because I didn't want to know, right? But then one day we were forced to go shopping as a team on a weekend because it was the lead up to one of those holidays where people expect gifts. And I said, look, for this kind of thing, I don't enjoy the shopping. Everybody's wandering around, they don't know what to do, and they have to get something. I have to get something. Okay. I don't do that. What I do is I make a kamikaze list. And then I zoom in, pick it up, and I'm gone. And he didn't believe me. And I said, all right, well, we have to do it because we have to do this. I'm not doing yours. So we did it. And I suddenly realized that he was pretty much, from the minute we got in the car, even though I'd said, give me an hour to prove it to you. And when we get it done, I'll buy lunch. All right, it's going to take all day. You might as well throw in dinner as well. And I said, it's not going to take all day. It's going to take a couple of hours. I'm very good at this. I don't believe it. And Eeyore. And as we were leaving the house, he started talking. Not a conversation. Not really even a rant. It was just this run-on kvetch, kind of half under his breath. And so, there's only two people standing there and one of them is talking. You assume they're talking to you. And so I'm listening. I said, sorry, what? He said, nothing. It's a totally different thing when a man says nothing and a woman says nothing, right? Totally different. Completely different dictionary requirement here. Anyway, nothing. Okay. And got the vehicle going after he did his stuff, whatever he does. And then it started again. But now the engine is making its noise and it's not as clear. And I said, you're going to have to speak up because I can't hear you. He said, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. Nothing. Okay. And then we got to a stoplight and we went through the intersection and it started again. And this time the volume was a little higher as we were getting closer to more traffic, Saturday traffic. And his shoulders were hunched. And it took me about 3 blocks once we were right in the thick of the traffic, because as we got thicker, he got louder. And I said to myself, this is small yappy dog syndrome. And I looked at him and I said, you really are not happy, are you? And he said, no, I told you I don't like this thing. I don't know why we have to do it on Saturday. Well, because you work through the weekend. This is not all me. And I said, you need to dial that back and let me prove to you that it's not impossible. All right. We got about 2 more blocks and he started again. And I said, I thought you said you were going to dial it back. And he said, I did. Oh, sorry. So now I realize that this is one of those pattern created, unconscious habits that this guy has developed. He has no idea he's doing it. Great. Because now I have to poke the bear every time it starts. I thought, no, I'll just, I'll go la, la, la inside my head and we'll get to the first store. So we got to the first store and I said, stay with me. I'm going to move quickly. All right. He's already starting to, and I said, no. We're doing this together. We're doing this together. We're together. You don't wander off. I'm showing you how it's done. All right. So, but he was long suffering, huge size, rolling his eyes. Anyway, there were 3 things we had to get in that store and I knew exactly where they were. And I went and I picked it out. And I said, hold that. And I went, I got the next one, hold that. The next one, hold that. We went to the cash. He put them down. I said, 2 of those are yours. I'll pay for this one. He took out his thing, paid for them, and I paid for mine. And we were out of the store in like 20, 30 minutes. And he said, that was pretty good. And I said, that was intentional. I told you I'm good at this. Huh. So we get in the car, we're driving. There's a lot of traffic. It's Saturday. Lots of people are not good in crush traffic. I get that. I don't mind it. I'm good. So but again, he's doing it. And I don't know if he's doing it because of the traffic, if he's doing it because of he's breathing, whether it's, I have no idea, but he's doing it. And I said, hey, stop. And he said, all right. You turned the music on. And so we're listening to the music, but he's still doing it. So I shut the music off and I said, the music is on. You don't have to do that. He said, I'm doing what? And I thought, oh my God, it really is completely autopilot. And so I was, chatting about this and chatting about that. And he's just, we get to the next store and the thing repeated itself. We had to go to about 4 or 5 places. And in every place, it was a kamikaze run. Get in, get it done, get gone. And I said, all right, time for lunch. We went for lunch and we were a little early. So we weren't in the middle of a Saturday lunch crush of people in a restaurant where the servers are out of their minds. We finished our lunch, got in the car, and I noticed that while we were still in the crush of traffic, the further we got from it, the more relaxed he was. And I thought to myself, this is anxiety. This is anxiety expression. He doesn't know he's doing it. It's the small yappy dog syndrome. Small yappy dog has to make itself heard, has to be loud, has to feel that it's got a space here. It has to establish dominance. And it does that by drowning out everything that is scaring it to death. That's what it's doing. It's overriding what is making it crazy. So now, my lovelies, kamikaze list. Yes, we do that all the time. I work in a grocery store. The last thing I want to do is, yeah, right? It's Shakespeare's birthday. It's Shakespeare's birthday. My goodness. Wherefore art thou, Shakespeare? Happy day. So the whole idea in this particular episode of the ABCAST series is to set the stage by talking about small yappy dogs, set the stage with more detail by giving you the story example of that poor man who was clearly just dealing with a social anxiety, and it hadn't occurred to me. A, because I work at home, B, because I don't have it, and C, when I do go out, I decide I'm walking here. And I realized that the small yappy dog event is that animal saying I'm walking here. That's what that is. And they don't have any other way to express it. So I said to myself, let's think about the workplace. Let's think about a social situation. Let's think about grocery shopping, as Eddie said. Let's think about the places that are gotta do's that we don't necessarily want to do. So we have to be good about it. There's lots of events that we have to participate in for any number of reasons. And my feeling is go big or go home. If you must participate, if you cannot find a legitimate reason to opt out, then show up. Because what you become, and Rhea will attest to this, what you become is a barnacle buddy. You become drag. You are a drag, but you increase drag on the efficiency of what's going on. You set up a cadence of toxic noise that doesn't eliminate the other noise. It layers itself on top of it. And so everyone who is already overwhelmed is now inundated. Every possible way that they gain information from the outside world through their senses. It's loud. It's anxious making because it's not a happy sound. It's an angry, scared, fear-based fight or flight sound. Rawr, 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 rawr. That's not a happy sound. The whining of a mosquito is not a happy sound. It is an exhausting sound. So I have a hack that I use, and I've used it in show business, and I've used it as a way to establish a level of efficiency that surprises people. And I'm going to share it with you because it works, it's really helpful, and it isn't harmful. And it's not fattening or calories. So, and when I said calories just now, I meant cavities. So, it goes like this. There's an old expression. You can fool all of the people some of the time, and some of the people all of the time. But you can't fool all of the people all of the time. So some for a long time, all for a little time. That's it. No, it isn't. Door number 3. You're going to love door number 3. What is this you're saying? Most comfortable around lots of people while I'm at work. It's a little more daunting when I'm a customer. Yeah. It could be that I'm a little more, yeah, well, you're not in charge, right? When you're the customer, you're not in charge. When you're the worker, you are in charge. That's the difference, right? And it's ownership. It's agency. I was thinking the other day, the word for ownership now is agency. I was thinking of calling it Abby's agency. People say, what? Anyway, this is what I do for every live performance. And I do it to provide maximum value to the people who made the effort, bought the ticket, got off the couch, climbed out of their pajamas, put on pants, got in the car, drove through traffic, found parking, paid the ticket, and they're sitting on a hard chair facing the front. That's a lot of commitment. Before anything even starts, that's a huge commitment. And I'm thinking about that commitment when I'm getting ready to go out and be and do. So this is what I say. It's not that I have to fool all of the people some of the time, or some of the people all of the time. I don't have to do that. I only have to, and let's not say fool. Let's say impress. Let's say engage. Let's say inspire, transform, right? I only have to do that for enough of the people, enough of the time. Oh, and what does that look like in the real world? Okay, I say, how long is the event? And someone says, it's 4 hours. And I say, okay. And what I do is I say to myself, so it's going to take me an hour before the event, get ready backstage, make sure that I'm wearing the right socks, the prep. I will have done prep before, but on the actual day, I give myself an hour before and an hour afterwards. The hour afterwards is the teardown, is the thanking, is the autographs, is the hugging, it's the waving goodbye, and it's the getting home. So I give myself an hour before. Sometimes if it's more complicated, I'm going to say, okay, 90 minutes before, 90 minutes after. What that means is that my commitment is actually the 4 hours of the show plus the hour and a half on either side, which is 3 hours. So my commitment is a 7-hour commitment, during which time I have to be my 100% consistently. All I have to do, and this took practice. This took practice over time, and everybody who has ever been in the public eye, who has done a show or a presentation or been asked to give a speech, everybody knows that your adrenaline ramps up because everybody's terrified of public speaking. But more people are terrified of public speaking than they are of dying. And I always say that's because when you're dying, you're dead. When you're public speaking, you got to live through it and have people laugh at you afterwards. That's why it's worse. It never ends. There's no finish line. So I'm also very good, by the way, in case any of you need to overcome that, I teach how to overcome that. And it's the way I do it. It's very quick. It's very painless. It's a lot of fun. And it absolutely works. Just saying. So, and I'm not just talking to people generally, although that too. I'm talking about in front of a group of people that you didn't know or expect, or you did and you've been dreading it for weeks. I can fix that. Anyway, that means that I have to have enough adrenaline that I drip out consistently over the 7-hour period. I take really, really short breaks. 30 seconds is really all I need. A full minute is amazing. And when I take a full minute, I don't have to go away. All I have to do, if I'm not on stage, if I'm just part of something, and there aren't a lot of people around and I can take that minute, I turn away and I just stand still. And I just stare at something. And I just stand still. And I take a couple of slow, deep breaths. There's no kind of rhythm or pattern to it. And I don't do anything. I don't check my phone. I don't fix anything. I just give myself that time. It is offered to me to be the ebb part of my wave. I'm allowed to exhale in all the ways that we exhale, and inhale and bring the adrenaline back up. I don't let it go for long, because when you let it go for long, you have to go get it. And that's exhausting. But I just let it go out. Like, let it come back in, put my shoulders back, and I say inside my head, here we go. And I'm back. And it's all it takes. I have gone through full days of events forgetting to eat. And it isn't until maybe 7 or 8 or 9 hours later I start to lose my energy, because I haven't had anything coming in and I've been expanding it all out. So if you work in an environment where you're surrounded by people in a kind of a drifting flow pattern, like you work at a grocery store, okay, you don't have to go away. You don't have to go to the bathroom. You don't have to go to the storage room. You don't have to go out to your car. All you need to do is say to somebody, "Be back in a minute. I just want to check something." And then you walk slowly a certain measure of distance. So in a grocery store, there's an aisle, right? So you walk slowly, not dragging, but you just walk slowly, casually. You're not looking at anything. You're not really checking anything, but you're just walking the length and then you're turning around and coming back. Maybe if you come back on the other side of it, they won't question what you did. If while you're doing that, you want to do the 30-second 5-finger breathing exercise, that's good too. The whole idea is that you're not revving your engine for no purpose. You're giving your body a chance to exhale the used air and inhale the new air. That's all you're doing. And it really only takes, like, this is 30 seconds. What I just did, that's 30 seconds. If you give yourself a full minute, maximum 90 seconds, to walk away, if you have an office, stand up. If you have a standing office, sit down. Turn away, shift your focus, stare at nothing important, and just breathe. And when you're done, you say to yourself, alrighty then, and we're back, because you are. Now, when you're going to get in the car, you've done that. Excellent. Who is this? It's your birthday today and you're 40 years old. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your birthday time with me. Oh my gosh. Do you celebrate birthday month too? How amazing. Thank the Vikings that my voice is loud and carries the part of the public speaking that drives the Bucker system microphone. Oh, I know, right? Is this thing on? So the idea of exhaling, the idea of exhaling and thinking of the wave, walk away, come back, and doing that breathing is like shifting gears. You watch if you still watch television, they have commercials. They have the commercials every 10 or 12 minutes. The commercials used to just be, a few seconds long. Now they bulk them together so you end up watching 5, which is crazy because by the time you've watched the 5th commercial, you can't remember the first 3 because it's all run together. It's all frantic. So the small yappy dog syndrome, here's the solution that does work. You're going to go shopping. How long are you going shopping for? What is it you need to get? How many places do you need to go? All right, you need to go to 5 places. Let's just pick a number. You need to go to 5 places. All right, so you get in the car and you say 5. Start the car. Because we're on our way to 5, that means we only have 4 more. Don't start at 1 because numbers from 1 go on forever. Start at 5. All right, 5. How long do I have to be in there? Do I have a good list? Am I on a mission? Yes. Can I breathe? Yes. When you get to the store, if you've got your later folder with you, and how could you leave the house without your later folder in this of all situations? And you write down in the later folder at the top of the page, number 5, we got this, and draw a line underneath it. Leave the folder in the car. Go in, you have your list. Smile when you go in. Breathe in, smile. Why? Because you leave your toxic and your assumption outside. And you walk in, you're a man on a mission, you're a woman on a mission, you're a team on a mission. And you go in purposefully, focused. You don't rush because you want to do it right. You don't want to go back. You get it done, you thank them, and you realize one thing that is really important. You only have to be there for like 10, 15 minutes. That poor soul at the cash has to be there all day. And then they have to come back tomorrow and do it again in advance of the holiday. So at the cash, when the purchases are going through, what you do is you stop thinking about poor you. And you say to them as the transaction is going along or as it's wrapping up, thank you. This has got to be exhausting for you. Talk to them. Make it them and they look up and they'll say any number of things. You don't know the half of it. Thank gosh, thanks for noticing. Have a great day. Why? Why do that? Make it human. When we go into a crowded store, we don't see all these other people as humans trying to do something nice for the people they love. We see a teeming mass of annoyances. We have to make it human again. In the midst of all of this current screaming, yelling, small yappy dog, hyped up rhetoric about technology, no one is celebrating the fact that we invented technology. We are awesome. We are amazing. We are walking here. Everywhere we go, there is somebody inundated and overwhelmed by somebody yappy dogging them. You're standing in line waiting with them. They're not talking. You're not talking. You look at them and say, silence is pretty good, isn't it? And they nod. Don't say anything else. Thumbs up. What does that do? Make it human. Spread the friendly and the caring. You have done it. Yes, of course you have, Eddie. What we're doing is we're forgetting because we are overwhelmed that there are other people in exactly the same boat. It's like we're this little flotilla of stressed out boats, all furiously rowing, exhausted. And we forget that we're not the only ones. Instead, what we just see is this mass of annoyances. But every single one of them is someone just like us. I'm not saying this is kumbaya. I'm not saying that you hug people. And we are all guilty of doing this small yappy dog thing. We start talking to ourselves about it when we leave the parking lot, walk a little bit. That's because we didn't use our later folder. Use the later folder, draw the line under it, take a deep breath, let it out. Let it go. You're not going to forget it because you wrote it down, but you don't have to breathe it. You don't have to eat it. You don't have to swim in it all day. Because if you swim in it all day, if you're trying to hold on to too many things because you feel you have to, you can't handle the important stuff that you're supposed to be doing. You can't. Your hands are already full. Your brain is already full. Your energy is already overwhelmed. You can't think straight. You're in fight, flight, freeze, fall down, comply, sigh mode. Write it down. 90 seconds. Breathing. Ready? Begin again. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that simple? And for my CEOs, when you get up and you turn on your computer and you got 11,000 emails, your phone blows up. People are nattering at you. Text, ding, 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 ding. Say to yourself, 5 minutes. I'm doing this for 5 minutes, and then I'm stopping for 90 seconds. And I'm doing it for 5 minutes. Why? Because the 90-second stop is the refresh button, is the reset button, is the rewiring button. How many things can you deal with in 5 minutes? I don't know. Some of them, probably a lot of them. Sometimes one, maybe not even one. Okay. But it's 5 minutes and a break. 5 minutes and a break. And then when you take your real break, you go for coffee or you go to the bathroom or whatever it is, you're going to tell me, you're going to think about this, and you're going to say, you know what? That is remarkably simple, and it actually works. Spread the friendly and caring, and it will be mirrored. Yes, unconsciously, Eddie, it is mirrored. Walk up and down And the 5-finger exercise, you do it to go through neutral to shift gears the old-fashioned way. This is our human version of synchro mesh transmission. This is our grease between the wheels that stops the squeaking and the braking and the falling down and the screaming. So the story is the person who just unconsciously is trying to be louder in order to drown it out. They don't realize that in being louder, they are fueling the cortisol and they're in high anxiety, higher anxiety than they normally would be, because they're not in charge. They're fighting the enemy. They're reacting to the enemy. They're not owning the moment. They're not saying, I get blissful silence in my little vehicle, in my little capsule, in my little boat until I get there. And then I get ready and I go in for the short spurt that I have to be there. And I'm kind to the poor person who has to be there all day. Thank you so much. You look them in the eye. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. How are you here? Are you here for long? Yeah, 8 hours. Okay. I'll be thinking about you. Thanks. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, thanks very much, because they're exhausted and they've been yappy dog thinging all day. But gradually, we leave an impact. Gradually. So the story is, listen to yourself. How are your shoulders? Are you tense? Where's your breathing? Are you breathing up here or a little further down? Are your teeth clenched? Have you made the list so that it's short spurt, time away, short spurt, time away? Have you organized your steps? Do you, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, the most brilliant, strategic thinker, quoted by everybody, military, he who is first on the field controls the enemy. How are you first on the field? You suss out the field. You establish what your actions are going to be. You plan your steps. You bring the right tools and weapons, and you take action. And you are already further ahead than the person who gets out of the car and says, all right, let's do this. You're already on a mission. You're in the store. You're on the move. And I don't mean you're racing. You're just efficient. And you get back to the car, you put the stuff in the trunk, you lock the trunk, you get in the car, you pick up your later folder and you say, done. And then you go, number 4. Put the folder down and you head off to the next one. You reset at lunchtime if you're at work. If you're at home, wherever you're working. If you're a trucker, and you got to put in so many miles before you're allowed to stop. Okay. But you can make lengths of the challenge have a beginning and an end. Like Montreal is an absolute dog's breakfast to get through as a trucker, because they're all doing it all at the same time, on the same days, and there's always road construction, always. And then occasionally there's weather. Yay. So what you do is you say, it's this long to get from the on-ramp here to the off-ramp to my next thing. The bridge across here, and I get off here. It's this distance, and it's probably going to it normally takes this long. It's probably going to take double that. So it's going to take double that, and it's this long. All right. As you're entering, as you're gaining speed or slowing down, you take the breath. We got this. And you put some tunes on. You listen on your radio, whatever it is you do, and you own that time. Because the countdown is on from the minute you begin. And if you allow the extra time and you check the time and you think, I'm actually doing better than I thought. All right, we got this. And every time, if you say halfway through is mile marker this, fine, look for mile marker this. When it happens, you say, all right, we're on the next leg. We're halfway there. Give yourself true, I'm not talking Pollyanna, I'm saying give yourself true benchmarks that you know are real. And if there is a lot of construction and the roads are hazardous, what you do sensibly, and every trucker is expected to do this. So a driver of a car can certainly do this. When you get through a tough stretch of road, or you know you're coming up to a tough stretch of road, if you're familiar with it, you know that where you can pull off. You pull off safely, you put your hazards on, you get out of the vehicle, and you do a circle check. Circle check for a truck is you walk around the outside to see if anything is not doing what it's supposed to do. You be careful of the traffic when you're walking around the driver's side, but you walk around and you walk around the other side. And when you get to the front or the back, what you do is you pause. You turn away from the traffic. You look at something else. You take that breath and you say to yourself, okay, we got this. There was my 90 seconds. And you get back in and you go to your next benchmark. And the reason you do it this way, and I've done a lot of highway driving. The reason you do it is this. This brain doesn't understand time. Everything is now. If you stop, we're stopped now. We start now. It gives that brain a break. If you just keep going, that brain keeps going. Doing the same thing, the same habit. If you stop and get out, that's a pattern you have to build. It gives you time to recharge. And if somebody says, what took you so long? I stop every 40 miles, every 50 miles to make sure the car is okay, to make sure the truck is okay, to make sure everything is okay, including me, including the driver. Where are you going? Why are you always going away every hour? Says the person in your office. I'm going away to come back. I'll be 90 seconds. What does that mean, going away to come back? I'll tell you when I get back. And you go away, wherever it is that you go. Get on the elevator, ride down to the lobby, walk around in a circle, get back on the elevator, come back. Whatever it is that you're able to do. If you're of a mind to do some stairs, don't do 47 flights of stairs. Do 2. If you're really fit, do 5. And then come back. Because that's how it works. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all shapes and sizes, that is the cure for small yappy dog syndrome. How about that? So here it is. It's almost 10:45. So I have a thing to tell you. It's kind of exciting. So, amen, says Kim. I would hope so. Now you love that. Good morning. Love that. Now I love. Ah. Right, Miss Kim? Right? Reset yourself. Because in rhythm, consistency, right? The definition of success is consistent action repeated over time. Repeated in a consistent way, performed in a consistent way, rewires the brain, creates the new pattern so that it becomes an automatic habit. That's science. That's proven. Okay. So here's the thing. I've been given an opportunity to sit in on a very famous, popular podcast guy. We were talking at great length a couple of weeks ago. And he said, you should probably think of doing a podcast. And I said, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm already doing the ABCAST. He said, well, you can call it whatever you like, but you should probably think about it. And I said, yeah, I can't think of who and what and how. What I'm doing with my ABCASTs is life hacks, right? Life skills, life hacks, quality of life, high touch humanics is what's really going on here, right? Positive empowerment, personal ownership. That's what I'm doing. The lion effect, flipping the narrative, pivotry in motion. That's what I'm about. And he said, yeah, I know. I enjoy your bits. I enjoy the disasters that you actually perform in front of us, and then the ones you talk about. He said, I just want to plant the seed. I think you need to think of something, because I think it's probably going to be a lot of fun for you. So I want to tell you two things. One is that I don't know what that is here. That might be one of those, I don't know, could be one of those things I have to block. In any case, I have the artwork for something new that was gifted to me after I bludgeoned him soundly to me for my birthday, for birthday month. And I have been in conversation with somebody about a new project and discussing it with my creative and production partner, Gary, what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and how we're going to flip the switch on the way, I'll flip the narrative on the way people do these things so that people like us do it like this. And I woke up with the genre, and I woke up with the concept, and I woke up with the name. I'm not going to tell you the name just yet because I have to confirm it with a couple of people. But it looks like I have the makings of a really fun, universal podcast opportunity that will be entertaining, and it will be funny, and it will be a definite stress release break. And I've got a couple of people I've already reached out to saying, you need to explain to me how this is done and then how we edit it down so it can be the short stuff. And so they're already going, oh my God, finally. So that's in the works. That's in the works. And I'm going to make sure that it has legs, actual legs with little footy prints underneath it before the end of birthday month. It is going to be the multi-platform launch pad, I guess, for everything that I've been working on for 7 years now. This is going to be the manner in which not the main way, but it's going to be the manner in which we bring everybody into the Pivotry in Motion conversation. We bring everybody into the lion effect, success and resilience and resets. And I think you're just going to love it. So be prepared. I don't know if I'll be able to announce it Tuesday coming, but Thursday at the latest, I promise. All right. It's just so exciting, and it's so cool, and it's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait. And I hope you feel the same. So between now and then, I want you to do something that is really important to all of us, because we're all in this together, right? I want you to seriously be good to you today. There's a lot of angry, loud, scared, yappy dog syndrome yelling going on. And I want you, like Bugs Bunny, who opens the door and lets the Tasmanian devil just go through and then closes the door and carries on with his carrot, right? I want you to realize that you have a partner in me. And if you are being inundated and overwhelmed by all of this pointless, loud, unnecessary, on every subject, any subject, all the subjects, reach out. We will discuss it. We will share with each other why it's exhausting, because it hits us all differently, right? And I will do my best to give you some kind of tool, temporary maybe, but to just get you feeling that you are the one driving your bus again. All right? That's my promise. However, I can't read how you're feeling until you tell me. You've got to be the first one to reach out. And you know where to find me. You know where to find me. Okay? So be good to you. You deserve it. You do the heavy lifting all the time. And remember to hug your loved ones, because they deserve it too. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making this something amazing. And I'll see you next time.